What is the difference between falling into slavery and being a slave to a false god and just living normal life? Let's answer these questions about episode 5. Good day, everyone. So some of you have asked this question about the last episode. You can review it before continuing into this one if you haven't seen it. The question is, can't we just like coffee and have coffee without being called addicted to it? Well, if you're having a cup of coffee because you like coffee, it's not a problem. The problem is if you cannot wake up without coffee, if you cannot work without coffee, if you cannot concentrate without coffee, then you're a slave to coffee. You don't have control over the functioning of your body. Now, we all wear clothes, so obviously we cannot be called addicted to clothes. But this is not the question. The question is, if you have to change and throw away your whole wardrobe every season because some person in Paris or Rome or Hollywood said that this new season's cut looks like this and this is now old-fashioned, then you do have a problem. If this year you will wear clothes that you would consider garbage last year, if this year you would be wearing torn apart trousers and patched things because somebody says that this looks good while yesterday you considered it garbage, then you have a problem. You do not have control over what you should be wearing. If the amount of skin that you expose or cover is dependent on somebody drawing to you what you should wear, you have a problem because you cannot control your body. You're worshipping that person. We all work. It doesn't mean we're worshipping work. And there is a big difference between being a workaholic and working hard. Being a workaholic means you are addicted to work. When you're destroying your family, when you're destroying your marriage, when you're destroying your relation with God, because you're doing all these things at work that you cannot stop doing, you're obsessed with overachieving the quota, while your sales practices are not really what you would like your children to follow. You're obsessed with going on the achiever's trip. You're obsessed with earning that title or position. You're willing to destroy your life for it. Corporate values and corporate trophies are more important to you than the real values. If your value as a finance manager, for example, is to maximize your working capital by paying suppliers as late as possible and collecting from customers as early as possible, you have a problem, because this is not the way of those who worship God. It is a way if you worship the rules of corporate success, maybe. If you cannot sleep without the pill, if you cannot party without the six-pack, if you cannot have a good time on a dinner table without the wine, if you cannot concentrate without a smoke, if you cannot have more than a 90 minutes meeting because you need to go out to the court and smoke your cigarette, you have a problem. You do not have control over how to have fun, how to concentrate. You do not have control over your thinking process. And the solution is not to take in electronic cigarettes or vapes. Now, those who have fully understood what I say, those who are living these things, would know the big difference between eating to live and eating as a compulsive disorder. The first one makes you healthy. The second one makes you obese and miserable, because you can be addicted to food. It doesn't mean that food is bad. those who worship God become free. That's why he has things like fasting in the religions that he brought down to humanity, so that you can stop using your free will to eat or drink or do certain things that are typically okay. It puts you here and your desires here. But when it looks like that, when this is your way of life, then you have to clean this out of your heart before you can truly worship God, or call on Him to rescue your soul and your heart and your mind and your body from worshiping false gods. It is the first step. Thank you.